We are live, everybody. What is up? Welcome to episode 68 of the Beastly Thoughts Show. Thank you all for joining us today. We got my friend Beastly Gamer here. Unfortunately, though, BriarRabbit could not join us today. He had some family visiting, and we're really gonna miss him. We're hoping you're having a great time, buddy, with your family and enjoying everything. But we got our friend Beastly Gamer here. How you doing this week, Beastly? What you been up to?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I felt really bad last week. I was unable to be here on the show. A lot of people who follow me on my YouTube channel know I've had some recent computer issues, which of course you know about. But last week I did not have the MacBook, believe it or not, and I had to wait until this new laptop came in the mail. And so this is my new Core i7 Core HP NV17. And this is a nice upgrade from my old HP NV15. It's so much faster. Everything works so much better. My rendering and my editing is like seamless. And hopefully I don't have any issues out of this one. So
yeah, I remember last year when I had my old laptop, I finally upgraded to a good desktop computer. It's just so much faster, so much easier to do things, and I love it. It really is. At one point, there's a time to finally upgrade, and it's so much more convenient.
Yeah, I believe it or not, I never dabbled with an i7 before until I got that MacBook Pro. My brother was letting me borrow it. You guys know I did the show about 2 weeks ago with it. And when I rendered with that thing, I was like, Jesus, this is insane. I didn't even know it was possible for a laptop to be that fast. And this one is just as fast. So, and I've got a terabyte of hard drive. I got 16 gigs of RAM, DDR3 RAM, and a Core i7 quad core. So it's really nice.
Awesome. All right, so we got a lot to talk about this week. Of course, we got House of Wolves that came out this week. We got The Witcher 3. But first, what have you been playing, my friend? What have you been up to this week?
All right, so I had a kind of a tumultuous week at work. I've been really, really busy, and I wasn't really able to play really any games until Friday night. But I did some Destiny, House of Wolves, the day that the game was actually released. I played through the first few missions, and then I had to step away until the weekend. But when the weekend finally came, I put all my time in on The Witcher 3 and, believe it or not, The Last of Us. I know you guys are like, The Last of Us.
Whoa.
I found it. Yeah, we're going back in time, right? Back in time. I found a nice new group of guys. We created a new clan, and we've been just having a blast on that game. And I say it to them all the time, and I'll say it to you guys now. The Last of Us is my most fun online experience. Destiny's a great game. I love it. But for the type of game that I'm into, there's nothing that beats The Last of Us. So I can always go back to it. I call it Old Faithful. It's like my old Cadillac. It always runs. It always see where I want to go. But I did play some Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I got about 5 to 6 hours in. I'm going to actually play more of it after I get done with the show today. But boy, was I impressed with what I saw, what I'm seeing in this game, in this world. The world building that's taking place. CD Projekt Red deserves some applause, man. It feels so real. It's a fantastic game for what I've seen so far, and I'm really impressed with it.
Absolutely, that's wonderful to hear. I think we should get right into it. Destiny, what did you think of the story so far? How are you enjoying the story missions? What are your initial impressions of House of Wolves?
House of Wolves feels really good. I haven't played, I'll be honest, I've only played 2 or 3 missions. And I intended on getting into that with you and Briar, but our schedules kind of flip-flopped and we were unable to, sync during the week. But from what I've seen, I'm really anxious to actually flesh out what they've added. I'm really happy to see any type of story being added to Destiny. To me, that's always been the thing that has been missing. It's never been missing in the gameplay aspect. It's never been missing anything in the loot aspect, looting things and, getting exotics and special weapons and leveling up. I think it's always been very robust there. But the thing that I've always wanted was to know more about the story. And so now that we're actually getting more of that, the game feels a lot more complete to me. And I haven't played a lot of it, but from what I have played, I'm enjoying it. And my wife and I are definitely looking forward to getting into that. I got another day off tomorrow, Memorial Day. So I'm going to memorialize that day on Destiny, and I hope to see you there. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
from what I've seen, it's been pretty fun. Now, I know that you've been on Destiny. I've seen you playing it. What are your thoughts?
I have been playing so much Destiny this week. I am not going to lie, Beastly. I haven't been this addicted and hooked on the game since it first came out. I literally cannot stop playing it. Especially the Prison of Elders is a ton of fun. Once you get those treasure keys, open the big chest, it's a really great reward. I did play through all the missions solo by myself, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot. I thought the story that was there was definitely better than like compared to Dark Below, and the missions are just more fun and varied and stuff like that, and I enjoyed it. And kind of the conversations were cool too. But yeah, I've been playing a lot with Briar this week as well. We were playing Prison of Elders on different levels, and I've been playing Crucible and got so many awesome new drops. I am absolutely loving it now. The maps are really good for the new Crucible maps. I'm having a blast with the House of Wolves. And
Now, I unlike Briar and yourself included, I don't follow every tidbit of details that comes with Destiny. How many new story missions about would you say have been included in the House of Wolves DLC?
I'd say there's 4 or 5, maybe 6. So about the same as Dark Below, but definitely a lot better than Dark Below. Dark Below is just not so great.
Okay, and how many Crucible maps have they added?
I think there's 3 Crucible maps, and then there's one that's also PlayStation exclusive. So I know, fanboy everything, but favoring the console over the other. Oh my god! But
let me grab my Xbox One controller. I can't believe
Destiny's paid off by Sony.
Yeah. And the Prison of Elders. Give me your first impressions. I've never been to it. I've seen tons of YouTube videos and YouTubers talking about it, and heard video game news outlets talking about how great it is. Give me your real impressions on how you feel about the Prison of Elders. Do you think that it is a good caveat for people who maybe were looking forward to a new raid? Is it on par with that type of fun experience? And just give me your thoughts overall, so I know what I'm looking forward to.
It's similar, but it's not the same kind of experience as the raid, because the raid, of course, you had your 6-man fire team all going in there. It required so much strategy and collaboration, working together to get through it. Prison of Elders is like, because in the raids, of course, you can have like 1 or 2 people, you can carry them through. In this, you only have a fire team of 3, so everybody has to be doing their jobs. Everybody has to be dismantling the splinter mines or doing the objectives, whatever it is, killing the enemies, taking down the boss. It's a lot of fun, and of course there's the different levels. There's the 28 Prison of Elders, which has matchmaking. The 32, 34, and 35 don't have matchmaking, unfortunately, so you're going to have to go in there with a fire team. The main thing, as much as I enjoyed it, the main thing that I don't like about this activity is the treasure keys, which you have to get from the chests. You have to do from killing the wolves and stuff, and then you get to open the big chest at the end. So it's kind of like an optional thing. Like you might go through the activity, and if you don't have a key, you don't even get to open that big chest, which has all these new weapons and gear. And the problem with the keys is there aren't many ways to get them. The only way to get these keys is to farm those chests by killing the wolves on like Venus, and it's really frustrating because you can go back and forth and farm the same chests like 2 or 3 times, and you still won't get a key. Like it's so inconsistent, and they really need another way to get these keys as a reward, because right now it's really frustrating doing that.
Okay, well, it's hit or miss. I'm sure that situations like that will probably be patched pretty soon.
Like the activity itself is awesome. Prison of Elders is a ton of fun. I love the wave-based thing. Like it feels like a fresh new experience, kind of like when False Glass was introduced to Destiny. It was like, holy cow, we've never seen anything like this before. Prison of Elders isn't quite that. It's kind of there, but it's still a fun new thing to do, and I really, really enjoy it a lot. I'll definitely be running it a lot more times, trying to hunt down those new weapons and stuff, and I'm looking forward to it.
I gotta really give a hat off to Bungie, man. They're probably the first developer for any console that's made a game relevant this long. I can't remember the last time any type of shooter came out and people were still in a fervor and this excited about DLC this far after the game's initial release, and it seems like it just breathes a whole new beat of life into the game, and everybody gets up in arms about it and gets super excited and jumps back into it and makes the game almost new again. I think that's really phenomenal, and it's like the first time I've ever seen a developer really accomplish that feel that you're used to, or that you kind of it feels like an MMO. It still feels relevant like an MMO. People are into that world, and they're into the world building and into playing with their friends, and it stays relevant for this long. And to me, it's phenomenal to see that on a console.
It really is, and it shows that loot grinding aspect has stayed so relevant so long. Like, people are always hunting these weapons, hoping for the chance they're going to open that big chest, and they might get like a Hawk Moon or a Galahorn or something like that. And once that reward pays off, it feels so good. And playing it with friends, these missions are just so replayable, and it's so much fun. Like, it's amazing how this game has lasted compared to maybe, because honestly, like, the core content of the game, just based on missions and maps, it's a pretty standard game. Like, there's not much there, but aside from that, all the weapons and all these rewards, there's so much underneath, which if you didn't really play the game past the first week or two, you wouldn't have realized how much depth there is there. There's so much more to this game than it initially seemed, and that's what I love about Destiny 2, is that it just manages to bring you back in with all these rewards and things you want to hunt for and weapons you want to upgrade, and I'm loving the game.
That's one thing that you and Briar and Justin, 95 Gamers, and Not Too Nerdy showed me initially when this game first released. I kind of approached it as a traditional first-person shooter, and once I got through all the story missions and played some Crucible, I didn't understand that there was a fourth wall. I didn't understand that there was a place beyond that I needed to go, and I didn't even expect it. And so, kind of fucking around with you guys playing the game, and you guys started explaining to me, no, this is for this, or this is why you're farming, this is why you're picking up this stuff, and I started to realize, holy shit, this is a real traditional RPG, as far as the way the world is built and the things that you're farming and the loot, on top of already a fantastic first-person shooter, which has great multiplayer dynamic, campaign, and versus. So it really does have a place that other first-person shooters have never really gotten. It's kind of this all every man's game. Whether or not you're a traditional campaign shooter, you love the campaign missions, or if you like going in there against your buddies, or if you like going out into the world and finding shit, I think that's what makes this game special. It kind of appeals to anybody who plays a video game and likes to have a gun in their hand, because it's something for everybody.
Absolutely. There is just something for everybody in this game, and that's what I really love about it, too. Just as well as I think they've made a lot of smart decisions with House of Wolves, because it was a very, very long wait between this and Dark Below. I think it's been about 6 months since Dark Below came out, and we're finally seeing some new content, which is awesome. So many people have jumped back in. I think it's brilliant that they have the ascending now for the weapons and stuff like that, and the armor, so you can ascend any piece of gear you want to 365 attack, or with armor you can ascend it to 42 light, so you can get to like level 34. And so it makes it so not everybody has the same damn gear and the same weapons. You can choose whatever weapons you want and ascend them and take them to the next level with you. So if you have your Vex Mythic class maybe at 300, and you have your Fatebringer, you have your Red Death, you can ascend those weapons and bring them with you in the new expansion, and they're still relevant because they're that new 365 attack level, so you can keep using them just like any of the new gear.
Oh, and I want to say thank you for not saying Gallahorn, because every time you say that, Briar looks up in the sky, and it's almost like, if you get a tickle, you think someone just ran over your grave. Every time you say Gallahorn, Briar looks up like, holy shit, what was that? So let's keep Gallahorn to a minimal on today's show, so he can enjoy his family today. All right, so Destiny looks like it's going to continue to soar as far as gamers go. I mean, it's something that my wife and I have really been looking forward to getting into. It's been kind of hard, especially with House of Wolves coming out at the same time as The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. That was really
the struggle.
Yes, it really is. It's like the darkness versus the light, and it was really a hard choice for me. The Witcher, actually downloaded that first. I got it at 7 p.m. here. Actually, the day before release, it was available on PSN somehow, and I downloaded it. I checked it out, started running around in the world, and then a few hours later, here we go, House of Wolves. And I remember you saying that it's going to be really hard for you. Were you doing a little bit of skipping back and forth, or did you just stay on that one lane of Destiny until you felt like you fleshed out enough of it to go into The Witcher 3?
The funny thing was, because initially I was saying, I'm going to be playing The Witcher 3 like nonstop. I'm going to get invested in this game. I'm going to never stop playing this. House of Wolves is going to have to wait. And shockingly, it's the complete opposite. I played a couple hours of The Witcher 3. I started up House of Wolves after that, and now I'm so hooked on House of Wolves. I really can't stop playing Destiny. The other reason I stopped playing The Witcher 3 was because I had to start over again, because I got locked out of one of the major cities basically by failing a quest, and I didn't have a checkpoint I could go back before then. As well as I was doing something wrong. It was clear to me that I was doing something wrong because the game was incredibly difficult. Like, even on normal difficulty, I was dying at almost every encounter. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I realized I'm playing this wrong. I'm just going to start over again, and now I'm really enjoying the game a lot more. And I do plan on going back to it at some point, but I don't know when that's going to be.
All right, so you got to tell me what you were doing wrong.
I don't know.
In The Witcher 3. Oh, so it kind of worked itself out. Believe it or not, Kate and I, we both had to restart our Witcher games because during the initial installation of the game, when you start the game, it asks you, do you want to pretend or import information or data from The Witcher 2, which we never played. And so they were asking me questions about characters in Witcher 2, and I was like, who the hell are they talking about? I have no idea how to answer this question. And so we just completely restarted the game without any of that information and basically gave it a fresh start. Now, I played about 5 or 6 hours into The Witcher. I uploaded a video of my impressions yesterday. And I am truly, truly impressed with what CD Projekt Red was able to do with this game. The world seems very fleshed out and well thought out.
It's huge, too. Like, there are massive, massive areas. Like, this game has been described as being 20% bigger than Skyrim. That's incredible to me. And 200 hours of content. Like, it absolutely is a huge, beautiful open world.
Well, one thing I will say, most RPGs, especially Western RPGs, the side quests really are just a little bit of icing on the cake that don't really affect the game. I don't feel the same way with The Witcher 3. I'm almost having more fun with the side quests than I am fleshed out. The little side characters that you meet in the world are so well thought out. The voice acting is phenomenal in the game. And it seems like every place that you go to seems like it's like a real place. In contrast to games like Dragon Age Inquisition, this world feels so real to me. And I love the fact that no matter where you are, you can whistle for your horse, Roach, to come running up, and you can jump on it like in Shadow of the Colossus and ride around. It was a little difficult for me, honestly, to jump into the fighting mechanic because I never played The Witcher before. Understanding the paradigm of the way they wanted you to control your character. I think it's Geralt is his name.
Geralt, yeah.
Yeah. I never really played the game before, but it started soon becoming more like Bloodborne to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of weird? I was playing something kind of similar, the way you're able to jump back and forth and roll around and even parry moves.
Not really, because one thing I learned from my first playthrough of the game is you can't just really spam the attack buttons. Like, you kind of need to understand what creatures and what enemies have weaknesses against what. Like, maybe this small monster has a weakness against the Igni spell, like the fire spell, and you have to time your attacks right. Like, you wait for them to attack, you dodge out of the way. It's a lot of... You have to be careful when you're in combat. You don't just want to go in all willy-nilly. Kind of like, yeah, Bloodborne. I think that's a very, very fair comparison.
And another thing that I didn't understand or really take into consideration was the fact that you have two different swords made of two different materials that affect enemies in two different ways. You have a silver sword, which I'm guessing affects the undead and creatures, and then you have a typical steel sword for your human foes. And I think that's a really nice new mechanic that kind of breeds, or it takes the Bloodborne fighting style and turns it in a whole new direction. I think that they've kind of added a little bit of everything that's awesome about third-person adventure games, and they've like added layer on top of layer on top of layer. And an open world that looks fucking fantastic. It really does look great to me.
Everything about this game is super impressive. The combat is really good. It's spot on. The world is spot on. It's graphically gorgeous. It's a gorgeous looking game. The story is great. And it's just so much fun just running around, just doing tons of quests. And it's a game you can play for months, too, because it is packed with content. 200 hours of it. So I think this is the ultimate RPG. This game is going to be incredible and last for a long, long time. I'm excited to play more.
Believe it or not, with Dragon Age Inquisition, I played probably, I'd say maybe 10 hours of the game. And I didn't dislike it at all. I thought it was phenomenal. But I feel more of a draw to play The Witcher for some reason. Is that weird to you? I feel more inclined to play it. Like if I had them both sitting here, Dragon Age here and The Witcher here, I feel like I would want to play The Witcher maybe 100% more times than I would Dragon Age, just because of the way the world is presented to me, and it feels really awesome. And one thing I want to talk about, because this has been all over the news, the graphical downgrade from I'm trying to remember where we saw the original footage. There's been a graphical downgrade in The Witcher 3. And a lot of people have been complaining about that and talking about it. And I actually read an article on it yesterday with CD Projekt Red's lead game designer of The Witcher. and he said that it was a vertical slice is what people were seeing initially 2 years ago. And a lot of people don't understand what that is. A vertical slice is when a developer has a vision for what they think a game can be. They take the engine that they're using and they put all their resources into creating a small slice of what that game and that world can be for a presentation to, a conference or to gamers, and they show people what that could be. And that is all their resources going into a very small, short version of what the game could be. So 90% of the time, that vertical slice is going to be a lot better than what you're going to see as an
Definitely. It doesn't mean it's going to be representative of the final product. Like, this is what they want to achieve. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be the same thing. Like, they might change their minds and make different design decisions and change the game a bit. So it's really not a big deal to me. The game looks beautiful. Like, I don't care. It's a fantastic game. Just enjoy it.
It was at VGX, I believe, 2 years ago when they actually showed the game. And to me, it doesn't look that much different than the actual product that we have now. And a lot of people are really nitpicking this. And it would really be a fervor if this game was an Xbox One exclusive or a PS4 exclusive. The fanboys would be all over it right now. But since it's on both systems, start with that. I'm just being honest. Since it's on both, going 8 over it. But to make an open world game is already one of the hardest type of games that you can make. Okay, I mean, you got to have all this stuff being rendered in real time. It's not basically a one-track game. It's anywhere you want to go do whatever you want to do. And for the game to look this great on either one of the consoles, to me, is a huge feat. I think it's an amazing-looking game. I'm really looking forward to playing more of it. Unfortunately, I'm scared of the time because I know $200. It's like, holy shit, it takes away from me being a dad, a husband, a worker. I don't want to go to work. I want to, the further you get into a game like this, that's when people start losing. Do you know how many people lost their jobs when the Elder Scrolls, was it, I'm trying to think which one it was. It wasn't Skyrim.
Oblivion?
It was when Oblivion came out, everybody and their mother fucking quit their jobs. They were at home playing that game, and they got sucked into that world. And I'm thinking that The Witcher might have that kind of experience on people. And so I'm trying so hard to take it one day at a time, one step at a time.
That's a good way to go at it, definitely. Like, don't rush through it. Just enjoy the world. Enjoy the game. You don't have to rush through all the content at once because it's incredibly long.
I don't think you can, Robbie. I really don't. It's like, even when you're going through the main campaign, there's so many interesting side quests and characters that you meet, and when you talk to them, you're like, holy shit, I want to go see what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden you're off on a side quest. It turns into 3 more side quests, and you're like, what the hell was I doing before I did this? And then you finally get back to the main quest, and it happens again. So I think this game, the actual game and the side quests in general are going to build your experience. I don't think it's meant to be played straight through.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get on with the news. You want to start us off?
Sure. All right, so Doom gameplay teased. The full reveal is coming at E3 2015. I did see the little trailer. I think it was like a minute and a half long. It showed a city being destroyed. At first, you really couldn't
miss it too. Like, it was so short. It's like 2 seconds long, and then the Doom image.
Yeah, it was like it was a modern world we live in now, and buildings and things were being destroyed, and then all of a sudden, you see like the pentagram? Was it the pentagram? The little image of the demonic image from Doom, and then the word Doom, and it didn't really show any gameplay. That was all just a cutscene or something that they just made for the game.
It's like a little peeky hole at what's coming next. I don't even know what to call it. It's not even really a trailer or gameplay. It's like a tease of a teaser. That's what it is.
I don't know how I feel about this. Doom was the first-person shooter I ever played, right? And I had no idea what they were until I played it. I was never a PC gamer, so I didn't even understand the PC gaming world at that point. It was 1994 or 95, and I got my PlayStation 1. When I finally got Doom on PS1, I was like, what the hell is this? You're actually moving in a world in 3D space and shooting demons? This is fucking...
my time.
This is magical. And so that was the first-person shooter I ever played, and it still has a very special place in my heart. I'm really anxious to see what they do with it. It's always been a great franchise, and I'm really anxious to see what this new Doom is going to be. I'm hoping it's a reboot, and I'll definitely be picking it up. I can't wait to see E3. I'm taking that whole week off, baby. The whole week, vacation
I am
time.
so excited for E3 too. I mean, we're less than a month away. It's coming up real quick. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm going to be in between vacationing in Tennessee and watching E3 from a hotel the whole time. So
Nice.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing that at E3. More news. Need for Speed 2015 is being announced May 21st. So,
Well, we already passed it. I forgot to edit that. I'm sorry, but yeah. So.
Yeah, well, they showed what I guess a still image of it, and showed that there is going to be the ability to tweak your vehicles and make them look however you want. I think the car that they showed had green rims that you could kind of put your own etching and lettering and stuff on. Looked really good. The image that I saw.
Yeah, there was the short. I don't even know if you call it. I think it is in-engine gameplay. They said it is going to be representative of the final product, which is insane to me because it looks incredible. It looks so gorgeous, but we'll see more at E3. Like there was basically nothing. It was the car driving down the street and they were being chased by the cops, and it's pretty typical. So we'll see more, but it didn't really show anything.
Now, have you been a big fan of the Need for Speed franchise?
Not really. Some of them have been really good, and some of them have not been so good. I think Rivals was a really great Need for Speed. I enjoyed that a lot. I think Hot Pursuit was a lot of fun back in 2010. Most Wanted, the recent one, was really good. They've been kind of on and off for me, so I'm excited for this. We'll see.
I'm more into the Need for Speed franchise than I am the straight the car sims games like Forza. Things like that. I'm more into Need for Speed than that. It actually has a story, and you actually want to go fucking do something. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing next. What do we got next for our viewers, Robbie?
This gets me super excited. So the next bit of news here is that 2K Games, the publisher, teases an unannounced AAA game to be announced soon. What do you think this is going to be, my friend?
Oh, God. I have no idea, man. The new BioShock. I don't know.
I think there's two things that it could be. I think 2K Czech has been working on a game for like 4 years now. They made the Mafia games. They made Mafia 2. This could easily be Mafia 3 because there's been a lot of rumors of it. Or it is possible that 2K Marin's new game, which could easily be the next BioShock, because they have confirmed that BioShock is a franchise and there's going to be more BioShock games. I think this could possibly be a new BioShock that be announced at E3, and I love BioShock. I would be so excited. Like, I loved Infinite. I loved the first one. 2 was not bad.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Infinite was the best. First one is the second best. 2 was blah. It was okay. It wasn't a bad game at all, but that's just the order in which it falls. I think that either one of those is a very valid, opinion of what this AAA could be. Does it say it's not a new AAA? Okay, it's just an unannounced AAA title.
Yeah, we don't know what the heck it is. It's something.
Either one of those, I think that, of course, if they announced a new BioShock, people would just be going fucking crazy because of how good Infinite was. Everybody and their mother loved Infinite, and so that would really get people dancing in the streets. Mafia hasn't been out for how many years? I want to say 2011? 2010?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so that game has probably gotten a lot of gamers who have grown up over the last few years, and they remember it and remember how awesome it was, and really would be interested, like yourself, in seeing what the next iteration of that franchise would be. So either one of them would be good. I personally would be rooting for BioShock because I love BioShock, but I think Mafia would be a good, valid choice as well.
Absolutely. Either one I'll be super excited about. I kind of hope it's more BioShock because I love that franchise, but Mafia 3 would be awesome too.
All right, so the next story, guys, I'm really happy to hear because I think that in order for a new peripheral or a new technology to really take hold of the consumer, you've got to have a dedicated team on it. So Sony opens its new first-party studio for Project Morpheus development. This is, to me, really, really good news. As long as they put a studio that has imagination and originality, and is able to create games that are really engaging, that people say, wow, that's an amazing experience, and I have to play that. You don't want more PlayStation Move titles. You don't want shit like that. You want a game that people see on the screen that looks as good as your typical PS4 game, and it's only being played on the Project Morpheus, and people say, wow, that looks fucking amazing. I need to check this out. Put on the Project Morpheus headset, and you're in a whole new gaming experience. That's what I think. I don't know who's going to be on this team, but I'm hoping it's somebody good. Sony has a lot of good studios, and maybe they can pool talent and borrow talent here and there to get this studio up and running and get some originality flowing, some creative juices. How do you feel about this story, Robbie?
I think this is awesome, and I remember a few weeks back on our E3 prediction show, I did make a prediction about Morpheus that is definitely going to take up a lot of Sony's conference this year. There will be probably no less than like 3 new Morpheus games announced. I don't remember what the studio is called that they opened. I don't know if it has a name yet. Like they just started working because they just opened, so we'll see their whatever they're working on in a couple of years from now. But I think Morpheus could possibly be the future. This whole virtual reality thing that every developer is moving towards, a lot of companies are moving towards, like Valve and HTC and Samsung. Microsoft is the HoloLens. Obviously, Oculus Rift. There's so many virtual reality devices that are coming out, and people are saying this is the real deal. Like, this is it. It feels like virtual reality. It's incredible when it works, and it's right around the corner, too. Like, the technology is there. The price is kind of almost there for certain devices. And, yeah, like, I'm so excited right now. I really want to see if virtual reality is the potentially what it could be.
I honestly agree with you 100% there. When I was a kid, VR was green wires on a screen. That's what virtual reality looked like. If you ever played the Nintendo Virtual Boy, which I have, the world is like a 3D type of world, but the entire game is made in red wires, and it looks really crappy. But
it's
that's
red and black. Yeah, I've seen footage of it. Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah, Nintendo is awesome. Anyway, VR back when I was a kid, that's what it looked like, but it was like green polygonal squares. And even back then, it was intriguing. If you remember an arcade game called Punch-Out, when you put the gloves on and you actually played as Little Mac, him on the screen, he was just a green wire model of the fighter, but it looked like VR. And so it's been something in the back of gamers' minds for the last 30 years. And to see where it's going, it's kind of like the dream. It's like living to see a dream come true. It's like being back in, the time before planes, and then actually living to see a plane fly in the sky. It's like a dream come true for those people who thought it would never happen. I feel like I'm going to see this time come to pass, and hopefully it's as good as I hope. And I got to ask you a question. We got HTC, with their new VR tech coming. We got Oculus Rift with Facebook. We got Project Morpheus, and we've got HoloLens with the Xbox One. If you could only use one, just based on the brand and what they're going to be aiming for, like the HoloLens is more like a holographic type of technology that you can actually print out with 3D printers. The Facebook Oculus Rift is going to be a PC-centric device that you can use for all type of applications. You can go on field trips, all kinds of stuff, play video games. Of course, the Project Morpheus, which is video games only. And I don't know exactly what HTC is planning on doing. So they're kind of nebulous in my mind. If you had to choose one, and let's just say you were getting that for free on release, which one would you pick?
That's really tough. I would initially choose Morpheus because I've heard all of these honestly are amazing. People say Morpheus is a really good piece of technology, works really well. Oculus is, the Vive is really impressive. Like, they're all incredible things. Like, that's a tough one. I think if I had the option to, probably I'd choose an Oculus Rift with a Virtuix Omni, the virtual reality treadmill that you can actually walk on and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
With those special shoes. You have like the harness and you're strapped into it. That is like full VR immersion right there. You're actually like walking in the game and you're looking around side to side. And if I had the option, I'd go with that kind of combination because that's basically as virtual reality experience as it gets. So.
And you'd have a six-pack in no time.
Yeah, you'd get
playing
a lot
Call
of
of Duty,
too.
running around, and a buddy like me would like turn off the treadmill and you go flying across the living room. It would be so awesome. Oh, man. Okay, so continuing on our VR news, Oculus is holding a press conference for the Rift on June 11th. What do you think this is going to be about?
This is just like a couple days before E3, I think, like 3 days before it. They'll definitely come out with like a new model, I think. They'll come out with maybe a price, maybe a release window-ish, talking about what they want, so we'll see.
This is bullshit, okay? Look, Oculus, they've got new models, but none of them have been fucking released. I mean, come on. At first, Oculus, they came out, they were by themselves. Nobody else announced anything.
Well, they're developer demos. They're not final versions. Like, they're prototypes.
Yeah, but how many prototypes do we need before we finally get something? It's like, come on, you go to a restaurant and they give you taste tests, until the following day when you want your fucking meal at dinner time. Come on. I mean, now we got all this other competition. I think they need to come on out and piss or get off the fucking pot, okay? This is what the Oculus Rift. This is our final rendition of what this piece of hardware is going to look like. This is the price. It'll be available on this date. I think they need to fucking do that.
But Beastly, if they take their time and make all these models, it'll be sure that the final version won't suck Gorilla Balls.
Holy shit! No Gorilla Balls.
Well, yeah, we don't want it to suck a big bag of Gorilla Balls, okay? So let them take their time. It'll be good in the end.
Look how Gizmo looked when you said Gorilla Balls.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I hope that they announce something. I mean, people are excited about Oculus. Then the excitement kind of died down over this long and drawn-out period. And hopefully they give people something to be excited about.
It's definitely been a long time coming. Like, it feels like it's been years now. I think like since 2011 or 2012 they've been talking about the Rift and demoing it. Like, it's been a long time, and it's got to come out like next year. I think so. I think like next fall, maybe mid-next year, it'll come out finally.
Well, we'll see. I'm just curious as to what they're going to be talking about in this press conference that people don't already know. It has to be something that's going to, move people's minds. Okay, this is what the final product looks like. This is what the price is going to be. We need to know something to get excited about this thing. And going back to the game of the day, Destiny. Right? Destiny's major fall expansion will be at E3 2015. So, are they going to show what we're getting this fall?
Yeah, I think so. I think the expansion, which was first rumored to be Comet Plague of Darkness, now it seems like it's going to be called the Taken King. I think it's definitely going to come out this fall. It'll be a $40 expansion. It'll be on the disc, and it really sounds like it's almost going to be like a whole new game. They have something like 12 story missions. They have 3 new strikes, a brand new raid. I think definitely, yeah, there will be a raid in there or two. I'm very excited about this because it was so nice to have House of Wolves just come out too when we were waiting so long after Dark Below, right? It had been 6 months since we had some new content for that game, and I love Destiny. I really want to keep playing that game and have new stuff to do. I really love the game as a whole, but there are times where I just feel like I'm doing nothing and I just get burnt out on it when I don't have enough to do. So having a big expansion come out this fall, like maybe if it's like an on-disc expansion almost as big as the full game or 3/4 of the size, I am so excited to see what that is. I'm really looking forward to it.
I gotta say, I totally agree with you. I think that 2 media expansions every year probably keep this game alive for a long time, at least 2. I know a lot of people will be looking forward to this raid because there was no raid with the House of Wolves. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing. I want to see what this story evolves into, but it's also scary to think about it. I don't think there will be a Destiny 2. I think it'll be just an expansion. Because with all these expansions that you're buying, if they create a Destiny 2, all the stuff that you bought will be tethered to the original game, and then you have to start over again. I think they're trying to build this universe, and you can just buy in certain parts of the universe. And I think that Destiny 2 will be a huge expansion from the original game. That's what I'm hoping. I just don't want them to compartmentalize their audience. I feel like if you spend $150 on DLC plus the game, and then all of a sudden Destiny 2 comes out, and you buy that, and you don't have access to the shit you've already bought, it's going to be a problem.
Well, the thing is, because we know Bungie has confirmed they are in the early stages of a sequel. They have started work on Destiny 2. The only thing we know about it is that you're going to be able to transfer your characters over. As of right now, your characters are going to be able to transfer to Destiny 2. Whatever that is, whether it's a separate game, a disc, or it's like one massive expansion, sort of like this Taken King is, or maybe if it's even bigger than that, it probably will be. Who knows when it's coming out, but I think the thing to take away from this is it's amazing how much Bungie is supporting Destiny and how they're taking player feedback, and they've just improved the game so much. They've come such a long ways, and with the release of House of Wolves, I think this game is the best it's ever been. I really do. I think they've made so many awesome improvements, even like small things like the voice team channel and ascending all the weapons and armor. I love what they're introducing, and I can't wait to see what comes.
Ditto. That's what they said in the movie Ghost. Okay, so let's hope. Let's hope that this new expansion they talk about at E3, and it is engaging. They show some raid activity. I know
Just
that
a
a lot
month
of
away.
people.
Yeah, we'll see it soon.
All right. So, continuing on with the news, guys, Sony has filed a trademark for something called the player, and it's not about a pimp. What do you think about this, Robbie?
So this makes me think back to like last year and the year before when Sony filed trademarks for unannounced games. They filed a trademark for Bloodborne. We didn't know what that was, and then that was announced. Of course, that was what we knew Project Beast was. The Order 1886. They filed that like a month before the game was announced at E3. This, I don't know if this is going to be the actual game or it's going to be like some kind of software, but whatever it is, we're definitely going to see it at E3. Maybe it's sort of like its own kind of platform. I really have no idea what this is, to be honest. I just don't know enough about it. So we'll definitely see it soon, whatever it turns out being. Cool. Because it says it's game software and other things too. So it's almost
really,
like a platform.
It really gets your wheels turning because the name the player really could be anything. It could be anything. It could be. I don't think that a video game called the player is very intriguing. Unless it's just my mind is not there. But I'm thinking that you're right. It could be a whole new peripheral.
It's definitely not a video game. I think it's more than that. This is something
a whole new
different and new.
platform.
I have no idea what this is. Do you have many ideas what it could be?
No, that's why I don't work at Sony. I have no fucking idea.
They would have hired us by now if we knew what we were doing. Fortunately,
they just don't know which YouTube channel to go to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Sony's been making some really good decisions. Well, their only good decisions have been around the PlayStation brand. I think that they've made some poor choices in other aspects of the company, but PlayStation and their video gaming section of Sony has been the most profitable. So I think they're going to really start pouring in all their effort into the gaming. So we'll see what happens with the player, and hopefully something intriguing.
All right.
Okay, so you can go with the next story.
Yeah, so our last news of the week, at least that I have noted down here, is details on Rockstar San Diego's next game have been surfaced. So right away, I'm going to get everybody excited. This is the developer that made Red Dead Redemption.
Holy fuck.
Everybody knows how incredible that game was. That game was amazing, and I don't know if this is going to be a Red Dead sequel. I have a feeling it's going to be called Red Dead Executioner. There were rumors of that going around. I think this is going to be announced probably next month at E3. And from what we know, it's going to be PS4, Xbox One, PC. I think they did confirm that, whatever this game is going to be. So I'm so excited. Like, I loved Red Dead Redemption. Loved it.
I think Red Dead Redemption was one of the best games of that era, and it still stands up and defeats lots of new games today.
It was. It was incredible. It really was.
It took what made the Grand Theft Auto franchise great, and I think improved on pretty much everything about it. Took us to a land and a world that no one had any idea about, and really fleshed it out and made it realistic. And on top of that, they added some of the best DLC I think I've ever played in Undead Nightmare, which is fucking phenomenal. And so that's another thing. Rockstar, please, if you're making a new Red Dead, please give us a new Undead Nightmare. I don't care if it's 6 months later, even a year later. That Undead Nightmare needed to be its own game. It was so damn good. But yeah, I'm hoping this is what it is. I think a lot of people are really, really excited about a new Red Dead. I mean, imagine if it was like a new LA Noire or something. Fucking shoot myself. So I'm hoping that's what it is. And you look about as excited as I am about this news. And can you imagine a Red Dead on the Xbox One, on PS4, and on PC?
Just how can that be anything short of incredible? That game is going to be amazing. And it's been, I think, about 5 years since the Red Dead Redemption came out. I think it was 2010. So it would be a great time to have a sequel come out, or at least a new, like, spiritual successor, similar game, like, set in the West. What else would they do if this wasn't like Red Dead? What other game would they possibly have?
Fuck. What else do they have? I have to look. I mean, what, Manhunt?
A Bully sequel or a new IP?
Bully would be fucking great, believe it or not, but it wouldn't be the same game because you're not a kid anymore.
Yeah, I've never played that game, but I've heard really good things about it.
Have you ever played Manhunt?
No.
This game was like banned in different countries because it was nothing but gratuitous violence, smashing people's heads with 2x4s and hammers and
yeah, I heard about all that.
Stabbing people in the eyeball with fucking screwdrivers, just everyday stuff. This game was really fucking crazy, and I think that's a game that probably could be revisited. Because look at fucking Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, if Jason Voorhees can cut your fucking balls off in Mortal Kombat, then I think Manhunt could come back and still be an awesome game.
He's gonna cut off those gorilla balls and shove them in
those gorilla balls and go bowling with them. Goddammit. I'm hoping that's what it is. I think Red Dead definitely needs to be revisited. And this is how you know if this is ever going to happen. If we see a Red Dead Redemption remaster, like how the way they did GTA 5, if they remaster it, you know it's coming. Usually these games that get remastered, besides Sleeping Dogs, because no one's ever going to see a Sleeping Dogs 2, but usually if they remaster a game on the PS4 and the Xbox One, it's because the developer is working on a sequel for that game. So
that's very true. What conference do you think? Like, do you think this will be announced at E3, and what conference do you think it would show up? Would it be Sony or Microsoft?
For what game?
Red Dead Redemption Execution, whatever it turns out to be.
It would be, well, what is Grand Theft Auto's lead console? I want to say Xbox.
I have one, to be honest. Like, it's just kind of the same across everything. Yeah.
Well, who knows? Well, Rockstar they're not having their own press conference, so it would be either one. I would probably go with Sony, since Sony has the lead as far as the install base. If it really mattered like that, PS4 has twice as many fucking consoles sold, so you'd be catering to a bigger audience, and at the same time, you could throw it in at the end of the
actually, that just made me think. Do you remember that game that was announced like a long time ago? It was a PS3 exclusive called Agent.
The Last Guardian. Oh.
No, no, Agent.
Yeah, I remember Agent.
Jesus, Last Guardian. Don't even go there. Oh
they announced The Last Guardian when I was 4 years old.
It feels like it. If that's at E3, though, which I made a prediction it will be, that's just...
I remember.
Wow. That's another level. That's another level.
I was 4 years old. I remember my dad, he was playing his 8-track. And he looked at me and he pulled his big cell phone out of his car. It was on his suitcase. He said, "Son, one day The Last Guardian is going to come." And I said, "For real, Daddy?" And still not out yet.
2487. Mark the calendar. Maybe. Unless it gets delayed, like most games do.
TBD. Yeah. TBD.
We'll
to be determined, man. Oh, man. Hey, I think this is a great show. Thanks for everybody for watching us today. BriarRabbit was unavailable today, but he is here in spirit. If you guys will take a moment of not silence, and everyone watching the show say, "Gallahorn. Gallahorn."
In his honor.
Gallahorn. He's smiling right now somewhere with his family, and they're asking him why, and he has no idea. Way to go, Briar.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I think that's going to conclude this episode of BC Thoughts Live. I just wanted to say one last thing. Your support, of course, has always been incredible. Like, thank you all so much. It really does mean everything to me to see you guys enjoying the content and liking it as much as we are. We love recording this show, like all three of us, and we're even thinking of including guest hosts as well. I'm going to talk about this more with you, Beastly, and Briar as well. We're going to talk about getting more hosts on and guest hosts and stuff, but just thank you all so much for watching, and just keep that support coming. It's absolutely amazing. I love you guys. You really make my day. You mean a lot to me. The whole gaming community and YouTube community means a ton, so thank you.
And Robbie's nipples are hard right now when he says that. He's telling the fucking truth.
All right, we're out. Goodbye.